I wanted to, if you're interested in open up to page 876 in your Chumash, I just want to show you something interesting in the margins. On the fourth line down on page 876, it says, Lachen emor ineni noten lo et briti shalom. It's talking about Pinchas. Pinchas killed two individuals, two officials who are, well, one official and one non-Jewish woman who was fornicating in public. He stood up, he murdered them, and Hashem said, that was a good thing you did. I'm going to give you a covenant of peace due to that. So before we talk about that, I want to show you where it says that God gave him a covenant of peace, Briti Shalom. It says, you see the last words on line 4, Briti Shalom, there's like a little asterisk on top of the Vav of Shalom. If you go over to the right, it says Vav Ketia, right? What is Vav Ketia? It means that there is a broken Vav. If you read the Sefer Torah, you open up the Sefer Torah, at this Vav, the Vav is broken. And it's left there on purpose. I was looking up this Vav on the internet, and this Chabad website, this Chabad Rebbe said, this is one of my more embarrassing experiences as a rabbi. I was a new rabbi, and I was reading from the Torah, and I saw there was a Vav. It's a broken Vav. Because he said, you've got to put away the Torah, let's bring out another Torah. This Torah is possibly borrowed. It's like, oh no, it's broken again. And someone eventually told him that it's supposed to be broken. So the question is, why is it broken? Why in this place? So there's different explanations. Halachic, like the Talmud has an explanation for this. But I think one way to explain it, based on the context of what's going on, it can answer an important question when it comes to Pinchas's behavior and why Hashem gave him a reward of peace. Like, if you would try to think of who would be worthy of a Nobel Peace Prize, it might not be somebody who stood up and killed another two people in public among your nation. So I think it's trying to tell Pinchas that trying to tell us that sometimes there's moments where you have to implement justice. And that can bring peace to your community, to your home, and with strict justice. Maybe it's not always like, killing somebody, but being very strict with other people. Sometimes that could bring peace, but it's a very fragile peace. If you're all the time strict, you're trying to implement peace through strictness and harshness, that's fragile. So that's why when Hashem gives him the Brit Shalom, there's a hint to us that it's a fragile peace, that you can't go all the time with strictness. And so it says there's a vav, it's broken, to tell us that it's very fragile. If you just move, if you keep going that way, it'll completely break, and it won't last. And so this direction of like doing something's acting with justice, but not going with it all the way. The Rambam talks about this and talks about anger. He says when you're angry with your children, sometimes you have to get angry. You have to show strict boundaries with them. But he said in this halacha, he says that when you do it, don't get carried away with it, right? Because it's very fragile. Sometimes you have to be very strict to set boundaries. But if you continuously let that affect your inner place with them, and you become overly angry all the time, that's not good. So he says, show them, like, this is very hard level, but he says, have your face look like you're angry, but on the inside you're calm. Anybody managed to do that recently? But like, I think the message though is that don't get carried away. I think that's the message here with Pinchas. Like, Pinchas, you did an act that brought peace, but don't get carried away. It's a very fragile peace. You have to try to retain and maintain the peace through acts of peace also, and not just through justice on a continuous basis.